The test is now complete. Thank you for your cooperation.
My mic was, it was muted. My bad. Took quite a while in the process. But yeah, I'm officially live. I'm not sure that y'all are able to hear me, so. Okay, anyway. Y'all are able to hear me, obviously. But yo, what's good, chat? How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling blessed. Back with more of me playing Detroit Become Human. My bad for not actually streaming yesterday. My head was hurting quite a bit, which is obviously my stress and anxiety, specifically associated with my traumatic situation, you know. Y'all know what I'm specifically referring to when I mention traumatic situation, you know. But, you know,
By the way, I'm an ST200 model. I mean, I thought you might be interested to know that.
I definitely know. And her eyeballs are like within the center. That's cool. But yeah, there's certain shit I want to mention as well, and I'm actually gonna rewatch. Well, not rewatch because I actually don't watch my live streams. I have my reasons. It'll take quite a while for me to process, but it's my stress and anxiety specifically associated with my traumatic situation, you know. Excuse me, chat. So apparently, and obviously YouTube's gonna keep it private, what I specifically mentioned. Obviously, Jack doesn't snitch. He doesn't talk shit. He ain't necessarily like that guy. He ain't about the action, you know? Like, he ain't necessarily about the action. But
Hold on.
I'm gonna continue and pause the game because sometime the AI apparently would overall chat, you know, so. And I don't necessarily like that, so. Well, I do, but not when I'm talking. I don't like it. It's just like how when someone interrupts you. Well, sometimes people do have to. Sometimes people have to have quite a bit of patience when they talk, and I've noticed that. And yeah, I get it. Sometimes it'll take. Certain individuals would forget of what they want to mention. For me, though, it will take quite a while in the process. So if you won't forget, then like you're good. For me, it will just take quite a while in the process. I won't forget. I never forget, chat. But you know. Yeah, I actually started playing this game since like exactly last year. I was like 19. I love it. I didn't like last year because I didn't do anything that I did at age 20. Ooh, bless you. I'm actually not gonna go back. I'll possibly go back like a bit. Well, actually, I may have to. But yeah, anyway, so apparently my instructor today, so right when I got in, and I mentioned to her what I overall did last night, I did not say like it and is very exploitive. She's very old-fashioned, very strict, and very exploitive, meaning like taking advantage. Younger, and you all know what I'm specifically referring to when I mean by younger, as I specifically mentioned in my recent live streams. Younger people my age, because I'm 20, well, in my 20s, but in no offense, I don't like when my homie mentions our age. Okay, can you be specific? um, and older people, they get exploited. Well, I'm older because I'm 20, and I would, you know, I'll get young fans regardless of what I stream because I don't necessarily care. I mean, I actually ran into someone who we have something in common, and she is 17, and yeah, she don't go on her TikTok. Well, YouTube could because YouTube they don't necessarily care. And I didn't necessarily like it how one of my live streams, which was very old, got age restricted. And I hate it because, oh, because of the title I mentioned, okay, younger individuals are allowed to cuss. I feel cussing is not an issue, and I feel that you gotta realize, you know. Like, I'm quite curious why younger people can vote but can't run for president, but other countries you can run as a leader. It's very stupid, you know. I don't like it. I feel like we should definitely consider having younger people as leaders, especially the U.S. President is plus the U.S. It's very like um very like modern, you know. You know, in terms of the motherfucking bitch ass current laws, despite the age requirement laws being temporary, like regardless of our chronological age and regardless of our mental maturity, especially the chronological ages I specifically mentioned was in my recent live stream. Excuse me, my recent live streams. Like the chronological ages I specifically, you know, mentioned before, you know. Like the perfect ages I specifically mentioned was in my recent live streams, you know, like what's perfect for society. But that they have changed quite a bit, you know. So I feel YouTube should be more liberal than strict, and being strict is actually a sin. Because God Almighty Jesus Christ, He's commanding, meaning He's liberal. Commanding is actually another word. You command individuals. You're being liberal. So, I'm a liberal guy. I'm gonna be a liberal dad. I'm gonna have like 10 kids or 11. So it'd be cool. People are gonna be like, oh, be realistic. That is realistic. If you can't handle that many kids, that is over you, and I'm not gonna necessarily let that interfere, you know. So, but I feel like that that you gotta realize that it's not appropriate, you know. And yeah, you know, despite the age criminal laws being temporary, that's what I want to mention as well. Just yeah, I don't like it. I don't like how YouTube had to do it. But hey, I love you, YouTube. I love you. I'm just saying, like, yeah, she's 17, that girl, and hey, she vapes, she drinks alcohol at home though, unfortunately. Her vape, I'm pretty sure her parents got it, or she just got it because they think like, oh, you look older. Stupid. You can't go by looks. You gotta go by mentality. And she's 17. She wants me to be president and CEO of TikTok. And she even know the decision to make. She won't be a CEO, but she knew what the decision to make. And people, when they vape, they have to do it like off camera. And I'm like, wow, it's stupid. Like you're vaping. Like you know how you witness people do it. Why can't you necessarily do that on camera? You know. I feel like as a CEO, which is gonna be M2 next year, plenty of people are like shocked. Like wow, you know, it's not M2. You know. But anyway, chat, without further ado, let's get straight to the show. Oh, wow, before I actually do that, I'm gonna go rewatch the Detroit Become Human shit because I have to see what I mentioned for GT5, possibly because I have to go live every day, and my bad. Like I mentioned, I'm without sins, without mistakes, and very righteous in terms of me being a virtue. But I apologize either. Well, I wouldn't say either way because, like I mentioned, I'm without sins, without mistakes, and very righteous in terms of me being a virtue. You know. I'm just at that point where I apologize means like you know how it takes quite a while for the process and my head hurts. I gotta apologize. Doesn't mean like oh I'm sorry. Apologize. There's plenty of meaning. People are, when I mentioned that there's plenty of meaning. Excuse me, not meeting. Meaning. You know how I mentioned to people there's plenty of meaning for the word bitch, and they're like, and that one girl's like shocked, and I'm like, that one girl slash woman was shocked. And I already explained what the word man and woman means. But anyway, so that girl slash woman was shocked, and and I'm like, yeah, there's plenty of meanings for the word bitch, especially the N word. There's plenty of meanings. I'm not gonna say it because some black people get offended, or even people overall, and I'm like, hey, if you do, then I ain't gonna mention it. So I gotta be respectful. And yeah, there's a certain time where I did, but that was like it came out of my mouth because it took quite a while for the process, you know. Hope I'm not sick. Hope I don't have a minor sickness. It's like October, and in 3 more weeks is Halloween. I feel like Halloween it should be all ages too, and it's more of like the parents decide or how people judge you. The government doesn't decide. If they do, that'd be stupid. Oh yeah, and for social media too, they said like you have to be 16 plus if they add that. Absolutely not. I would say 7 plus because you are mentally mature slash mentally an adult. Huh? Huh? Yo? My sister's like mentioning like to have alcohol you have to be 1 years old, like 1 plus. That is like stupid. I would say 11 or 12 plus, and make an exception for certain boys slash men's and girls slash women's like 10, 9, and 8. When you're 7, you're yeah. Anyway, so 7 plus from the age of 7 beyond that, which like I mentioned, you know for a fact, from the age of 18 and beyond, 18 plus, you're assuming that for that individual, or like 12 plus, where you assume that the brain is fully developed and fully formed after birth. No, the brain is okay. Actually, no. The brain is fully formed, fully developed after birth. I meant to say, people think that when you're that from the age of 25 and beyond, they assume that your brain is fully formed, fully developed. No. To be the exact size, it's meant to be like after birth. It's 18 for boys and girls. It's in girls, it's 16. But for excuse me, chat. So that's for girls, or boys, it's 18 and girls, it's 16. But to be fully formed, fully developed after birth for the brain and plenty of neurons, especially the prefrontal cortex, they're fully formed, fully developed after birth. But it's more like it has enlarged enough at 7 plus, from the age of 7 and beyond that, and you just remain like mentally mature. But yeah, overall, you are mentally mature slash mentally an adult, like official adulthood. So like fully independent, fully responsible, you have full responsibility and overall full legal responsibility. Hope I don't necessarily have a minor sickness. And mine is rare, so it would seem like I'm better and just have a stuffed nose or, in terms of the mucus buildup, but what I'm gonna mention to my mom, because she gotta realize I gotta stay home from work, and I'm an intern. I don't want to get my colleagues to. Okay, you don't get people sick. Excuse me. I don't want to make it, because it's actually not great for your immune system and your health if you're like sick and working. It's not about getting others sick. People don't get others sick, and the weather doesn't get you sick. And I actually did research, and it mentions it, but Google majority of the time can be wrong. But I wouldn't say specifically Google is wrong. No, not really. Or that Google is a lie, or that Google is fake. No, absolutely not. I'm gonna be the CEO of Google, and I'm gonna be honest. Google is not a lie. Google is not fake, and certain times it could be wrong, but majority of the time it's right. So I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, for social media, it's 7 plus in the future. Even if it's not, people still have it, but unfortunately, they gotta be aware. It's like you're hiding yourself. Excuse me, chat. But yeah, I'm gonna see like where I left off for Detroit Become Human though. I am officially live. I'm gonna sure y'all are able to hear me. Hey. Hold on, just a little while longer. Hold on, just a little while. Yo, what's good, chat? Longer. How y'all feeling today? I'm blessed. Back with more of me playing Detroit Become Human. Just a little while. Hold on, let me get into the game. Or a survey or something. Everything will be alright. I want to possibly head to the game because I explained about the survey I remembered. Character, in terms of his moral sinful behavior, specifically associated with his morality, a.k.a. his moral character, which he is a sinner. Hold on, who's a sinner? I have to go quite a bit back. not the answer. They're zombies. If it's humans itself, then yeah, violent is not the answer. If it's not necessarily self-defense, you know. But if it's self-defense, then there's a reason towards it. Yeah, it was very simple to accept Alice's identity was Kara. Being pacifist or violent was Marcus. Pacifist, you know, very simple. And deciding to shoot Chloe was excuse me, it was Connor. I chose that though because it was challenging because I did not necessarily want to shoot her, but I didn't, right? Pretty sure I didn't. So let me raise my mic volume up. Chapter. Let me see where I left off. This has been a while.
Story chart.
It's been quite a while, so. Or continue to see. Otherwise, if I'm not wanting to be at the part where I left off, then you know. And there are certain games I want to download. I want to download House of Ashes. I love that game. I love the Naram Sin. Well, I didn't like him, especially in history. He was very greedy, behavior-wise. For who he is, I definitely. I actually watched clips of this show. I want to watch like the actual show itself. All right, and then I overall played GTA that one time. Let me possibly check like. And I'm like, hey, I like it. Who called? Oh, hold up, checking a minute. Yo. Hi.
He told Angelina that he wanted to see you.
That's cool.
So we called you. She didn't want to come down.
Mommy.
I guess he misses you.
Mommy. How about I go all time in my floor?
He wants to tell you that he went to school with his friends.
Who, Johnny?
Yeah.
That's cool.
He went to Juju's house today and Juju almost gave him hot sauce.
Uh-oh.
I like hot sauce.
Yeah, I saw the story where he was at the neighbor's house.
I posted that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a picture.
Did he just walk there or?
Yeah, and he wouldn't come back home.
Oh.
And Juju kept saying, don't go by him, Khara.
Mommy. Tell Bucky I go see Dad.
Yeah, Bucky saw the picture of you and the skeleton.
Could I see Dad?
Okay, I'll show you.
Okay, bye, Bucky. I will be Dad. Bye.
Bye. Hold on, I'm gonna call my homie Andrew. I may possibly play GTA. No, I don't want to crash, you know. I want to see what I mentioned. You could drive it. I'm gonna head back to the arcade on foot. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just consider playing. But yeah, I don't necessarily like. Did I mention about my instructor? Fuck. See, my mind is like every time I have to go back, I used to not necessarily do that. Excuse me. Let me go back. Excuse me. Let me go back. Yeah, I actually started playing this game since like exactly last year. Good chat. How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling bland. My stress and anxiety, specifically social. My bad for not necessarily streaming yesterday. I mean, I was playing Retro Future Crack Time, but not as much. I had dinner and then I just, that's apparently what I. Hold on, I'm gonna mention to my mom if I'm able to. Well, hold up. But
By the way, I'm an S.
Oh, and I'm actually gonna rewatch. Well, not re. YouTube's gonna keep it private what I especially mentioned. I'd say like that. So, well, I do, but not when I'm talking. I'm pausing it because sometimes the AI apparently would overall chat, So, I don't necessarily like that. So, well, I do, but not when I'm talking. I don't like it. It's just like how when someone interrupts you. Well, sometimes people do have to. Sometimes people have to have quite a bit of patience when they talk, and I've noticed that. And yeah, I get it. Sometimes certain individuals would forget of what they want to mention. For me, though, it will take quite a while in the process. So you won't forget. Like you're good. For me, it'll just take quite a while in the process. I won't forget. I never forget, chat. But you know. Hold up, chat. Yeah, I actually started playing this game since like exactly last year. I was like 19. I love it. I didn't like last year because I didn't did anything that I did at 2020. Ooh, bless you. I'm actually not gonna go back. I'll possibly go back like a bit. Well, actually, I may have to. But yeah, anyway. So apparently my instructor today. So right when I got in, and I mentioned what I overall did last night. I did not say like it is very exploitive. She's very old-fashioned, very strict, and very exploitive, meaning like taking advantage. Younger, and you all know what I'm specifically referring to when I mean by younger, as I specifically mentioned in my recent live streams. Younger people my age, because I'm 20, well, in my 20s, but in no offense, I don't like when my homie mentions our age. Okay, can you be specific? Um, and older people, they get exploited. Well, I'm older because I'm 20, and I would, I'll get young fans regardless of what I stream because I don't necessarily care. Well, I'm young, but you know what I'm specifically referring to. I actually ran into someone who we have something in common, and she is 17, and yeah, she. Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, we're not gonna get into all that jazz. But yeah, apparently my instructor mentioned, oh, you can't play video games for like 1 day. Like, are you stupid? Like I have my rights to mention. Because I mentioned to her, oh, I was playing video games last night, which I was. I was playing Ratchet Clank Future Crack Time. Because my head was hurting. I wasn't like I didn't necessarily want to stream or whatever. And I was thinking about plenty of shit that were personal, and you don't necessarily want to see that when I'm live. But it's just like I don't necessarily like it, but hey, she can't necessarily tell me what to do, and even my homie girl was going to flow, so she doesn't necessarily agree either. So without further ado, though, let's get started. I'm gonna play a bit of it, and then I'm gonna play GTA 5 online with my homie Andrew. Or I could just end and play later. Hold up, I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him Snapchat. Cause like 7:44, he's like officially done with therapy. Uh. Yeah, I don't necessarily like that beef with my homie Dakota. And he was subscribed to my channel at one point, so like just because he wants to like make fun of me, like shut the fuck up, bruh. That was from the past though, thank goodness. That was like 2 months ago. Yo, it's good, Andrew. You down to play GT5 online? Wow, wait for him though. Let's consider playing. Alrighty. So I'm currently playing as Kara and Alice. Don't I love Kara and Alice? Pretty sure Kara is a 16-year-old android and Alice is 9. That's cool. Yeah, they're 7 years apart, but that's simply because they're AIs. Not like Well, it's like she adopted Alice at that overall point. That doesn't necessarily mean like oh she didn't, you know. She didn't, because AIs can give birth. They don't necessarily have the parts, if you know what I'm specifically referring to. She is they're androids. Is what you're referring to. But yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure I did mention on that one stream. I don't necessarily mind if like when you hold Alice's hand. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, yeah, Alice is mentally mature / mentally an adult. Like, you know, official adulthood. So like fully mentally mature, you know. Have to add that shit as well. Bless you, Alice. Yeah, fully mentally mature. Even though Alice can't hear me, I just love mentioning that. It's very respectful and very righteous, obviously. But anyway, yeah, fully. So yeah, mentally mature / mentally an adult, you know, official adulthood. So fully mentally mature. You know, fully independent, fully responsible, you know, full responsibility, and you know, bless you, Alice, and full legal responsibility, you know. So full responsibility, full legal responsibility, you know. And overall, that's from 7+, like from the age of 7 beyond that, you know. And Alice is like a 9-year-old android, but she has some certain type of mental trauma, which is like a childhood trauma or possibly PTSD, perhaps overall. And Alice doesn't necessarily have
the store's still open. Maybe we should go inside. At least you'll be out of the cold.
I mean, you never know. You're you forgot to mention about yourself, Alice. Or excuse me, not Alice, Kara. You're the one who was in the rain as well, baby girl. All right, let's chat with. Let's see what the cashier would overall think. Cause hey, I have the hat on, so he wouldn't necessarily know if she's human or not. And two, let's see his reaction. Ooh, ow, my eye hurts. Pretty sure I pulled my eyelash hard. Hold on, let me mention to my mom if I can consider getting Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. I want my kid to work there when she's like 11. Like I mentioned, labor laws are gonna change. They shouldn't even call it childhood labor laws. Excuse me, not childhood. Child labor laws. Labor laws were created for us humans. A child, well, when you're physically a child, like Adam and Eve, for example, I already mentioned about them on my recent live stream, but overall, when you're temporarily physically, unfortunately it's temporarily, but when you're temporarily physically a kid / child within your mortal body, that just mean you're generally who you are, but at that split moment, temporarily, unfortunately, within your mortal body, and like you overall, you know, so it's, yeah, any kid shouldn't work, like a 5, 6, 7-year-old shouldn't work. Certain boys / men's and certain girls / women's who are 8, 9, and 10, for, you know, certain one of them, they can work, but just ensure that not all who are that age can. So just ensure they have to be physically strong. What are jobs that doesn't require strength? Being a teacher, for example, doesn't. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be heavy things to carry if you have to carry supplies, but there is other people that are working with you that aren't like your the same age. They are a bit older, but close to your age, you know. So that's why I would mention like 11 or 12 would seem reasonable, and beyond that to be a teacher. So, you know, to be in college, it's 7+. Because if you're a 5 or 6-year-old in college, or if there's a 5 or 6-year-old in college, I mean, hey, you never know. What if there's a miracle for mentality? Just like puberty for certain boys / men's and girls / women's who are 8, 9, or 10. What if certain boys / men's and girls / women's who are 5 or 6, like certain one of them who are 5 or 6, can be in college or just do anything that involves you being mentally aware, and that is early adulthood mentally. Like you're not 7, you know. And yeah, 18+, you can't assume that. Like, you can't legalize adulthood or legally say, oh, I'm legally an adult, or legal adulthood. No. You don't legalize that. You don't legal that, you know. Like, 7+ would seem reasonable from the age of 7 and beyond that. You don't legalize that. You don't legal that, you know. It's that simple. Look at Alice, you know, she's independent. She even knew that it was wrong to steal, but I would have to say that even though stealing is a sin, as according to certain biblical saints, aka the Bible, which is the true words through God Almighty Jesus Christ, I had to steal, which is like you're sacrificing, you know. So God Almighty Jesus Christ may have to do something like that, and obviously nothing is challenging, hard, or difficult to him. Challenging could be for me possibly because I'm meant to be challenged because you know it takes quite a while for me to process, you know, and I'm highly intelligent overall, so it's very reasonable to mention that, you know. So, and I'm gonna mention it to my mom. Hold on, I'm gonna put my water bottle real quick, and I'm gonna see if my mom's home. Alright, hold up, be back, Chad. I love water. Water is healthy, and I praise God Almighty Jesus Christ for creating it, you know. She doesn't believe in fairies. She was a fairy. I'm a fairy. Angelina's a fairy. Oh, when is Melanie can get a bank account soon? But she has to have a job. Huh? Angelina, do you want a job? Huh? You can move closer. Maybe that's a free job. She doesn't get money. She pays you? You want to be a mother? I am your mother. Oh my gosh, this guy has a huge hair. Oh. Nice. Imagine having an afro. Hey, yo. All right, I'm back, chat. Oh yeah, another thing I want to mention. Yeah, about trick or treating. It should be all ages. Very simple. Trick or treating. The government doesn't. They can't control that. But anyway, I am back. Did Angel call me? Oh, my Snapchat got a notification. No, he didn't necessarily. Okay. It's just bitching in the group chat. But yeah, Halloween it should overall be all ages, like despite the age criminal laws being temporary, you know. Just imagine, just all ages. I would love that. It could be any age, right when you're a toddler. When can you go alone? 7+ to go alone. 2+ to go as a parent, because I'm pretty sure I've never seen someone who's 1. Because you know you're officially a toddler. You can't. That means you are willing to toddle. And if you do, if it's a bit earlier than 1, that's just you're not a toddler. Well, I would say so. Yeah, you're actually a toddler if you walk. But the appropriate age though, because brain-wise, as it enlarged, would possibly have to be like 2 years old. I wouldn't take my 1-year-old out to trick or treating. Well, he or she could come. I can like bring him or her. Be like, hey, like this is what you can do next year, and he or she'll be like, oh wow, this is very cool. Can a 1-year-old talk? No, I'm pretty sure when you're 2 you can talk, or 1. I mean, I never. Just know when they as they grow physically, you can. It's gonna take quite a while for me to process like whether they've talked at that age or not. Cause my cousin Winter, she like talked at like 2 years old, I would say. Who knows? I have to ask my uncle because I'm actually gonna. Well, I'm gonna work with my dad on Saturday. We're gonna winterize, but if I meet up with my uncle, because usually when I work, we work separately. But my cousin Winter, I have to ask my uncle. Like, do you remember when she first talked? Because I remember she first walked when she was 1. So I'm like, hey, that's your official toddler year. And I celebrated her 1-year-old birthday. Her other birthdays, usually during Christmas, because after Christmas, 3 days afterwards, it's like her birthday, and she's gonna turn 7 this year. Ooh, she's gonna be like happy for that. 7 is like a great age to be, cause I started playing The Walking Dead season 1, and that's when I like proved I'm a man. Well, actually, I was a bit older than 7 when I proved. 'Cause like I mentioned, it's 7+, from the age of 7 and beyond. Just because you're 7 doesn't mean you're gonna officially do all that jazz and shit, you know? Can you be an astronaut at 7 years old? I would say that's illegal to send someone to space if they're 7. They can be like in a field trip, like they can visit other planets, but they can't get out. Like they will orbit around. That would be like a cool field trip for school. You just go to a space agency in Michigan. I feel like every state, all 50 states should, because that'd be cool. And then it'll be part of the company, and then they'll send you to space, and you wouldn't have to wear an astronaut suit because you can be mentally mature slash mentally an adult at 7, but I would recommend 8 if you go through puberty, or 11. Because what if you don't hit your growth spurt at 8? So I feel like it's gotta be puberty and growth spurt simultaneously. But yeah, as I was mentioning, trick or treating should be 7+ alone. Like you could go by yourself. Because why does a parent go with you? Because they think that, like you'll get kidnapped. I could get kidnapped if I had to. Kidnapped doesn't mean like if you're a kid physically, like temporarily physically a kid slash childish in your motor body. That's just a word. Like childish, people think like, oh, younger individuals are meant to act like that. No, they don't act mentally immature. Mental immaturity is Sugata my excuse me, not Sugata my juice Christ. I mentioned on my recent live stream last night at my dad's place. Mental immaturity is through Satan, chat. Mental maturity is through God Almighty Jesus Christ, you know. Excuse me, chat. So that's who's from, you know. Hold on, excuse me, chat. Hold on, give me a minute. I'm gonna think about something personal quick. Chat, I'm back. My bad. I was thinking about something personal, you know. But yeah, trick or treating. I feel like people should have independence at a very young age. Like I feel like my child who's 7 would go out alone. Like they can actually use the Uber. That is the 7+ because you're not the one driving. Someone is driving for you. And to be an Uber driver, he has to go through puberty. He has to hit a growth spurt as well. If you don't, like, let's say for example, because you know how I mentioned certain boys slash men's and girls slash women's hit puberty at 8, 9, or 10, like whenever they hit puberty. What if you don't hit a growth spurt? So you have to hit a puberty. You have to hit puberty and a growth spurt simultaneously. Like, look at Alice. I'm pretty sure she's going through puberty, but look at her. Do you think she's hitting a growth spurt? She's 9. Like, do you think she can drive? No, possibly not. I mean, who knows? I have to see. I mean, they never allowed that feature. Like, Clementine, you have to see her when she was 11. 24? Why is the store called 24? That's actually cool. Some stores should... There should be stores like 7-Eleven. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. But yeah, as I was mentioning, Halloween is all ages. To be with a parent to officially trick or treat, but with a parent 2+, from 2 years old to 6 years old, or if certain individuals who are boys slash men's and girls slash women's are mentally mature at 5 or 6, like 5 or 6, then they can go out alone. But that doesn't mean they will hit puberty. If they hit early puberty, that's like very rare, you know, for 5 or 6 years old, or even 7, you know. But see me chat. So Alice is going through puberty, but she hasn't hit a growth spurt, so she cannot necessarily be an astronaut, for example. It will be illegal to send someone who haven't hit a growth spurt. Well, the thing is, because the astronaut suits, they're meant to be the exact size it's meant to be, and when you're in space, you're not going to be afraid. It's just that something would harm you physically, and zero gravity would, like, tear your body in bones. Like, actually, it's not that either. Who knows? I mean, you know. So let's say, for example, you're in college and you're 7 years old. Like, say, like, I'm in college, I'm 7 years old. But yeah, like I mentioned, chat, I proved my mental maturity, like, well, it's gonna take quite a while for me to process, but it's all good. But yeah, when I was 7, I was, because I was playing The Walking Dead Season 1, whatever, so. Compared to back then to today. So, back then, it took me a very long while for me to process in terms of majority of the aspects, or majority of the things. Whereas today, it takes quite a while for me to process in terms of certain aspects, or certain things, you know, so. But yeah. Maybe I was thinking about something personally, you know. But anyway, yeah, Halloween, all ages. Well, that's all I wanted to mention. So, I know Chad was up for this discussion. Let's chat with him. Let's see what he would mention, his reaction. But yeah, Alice, yeah, she have not necessarily goes to puberty, you know.
Can I help you?
I'm with a little girl, and we have nowhere to go. Could you spare some money so we can get a room for tonight?
Look, this is a convenience store, lady, not the Salvation Army. I can't start handing out cash to every bum in the neighborhood.
Wow. Asshole. Calling me a bum is actually fucked up too. Pull a gun? Ooh. No. We don't want to necessarily do that. That's actually fucked up. That's self-defense. So. Oh, Alice!
Alice, I need your help. You see those cans over there? I want you to go over and knock them down.
Knock them down?
What kind of whispering is
Why?
that?
Please. Alice, just trust me.
Seems reasonable to explain, baby girl. Like, I'm gonna rob the store. That's me certain time. I look behind. I look like left and right. Oh! I was a poot from here. Love you, sir.
You alright? Are you hurt? Well, don't worry. It's just a few cans.
Get it! Was that the
You
money?
made a lot of noise, that's all.
Come on, let's go.
I could have shot him in the head.
Fuck!
Actually, why exactly would I do that? That's no part of the process. My bad, chat. You know what I was supposed to be referring to, chat.
We have some cash now.
And I was
You
joking,
used me to steal that money. How could you do that? I trusted you.
See, Kara, you gotta explain. Man, people are like that to children. Like, those who are temporarily physically a kid/child within their mortal body, they assume that they're mentally immature. Mental immaturity is through God. Why am I saying God about Jesus Christ? Oh my gosh! Mental immaturity is through Satan, whereas mental maturity is through God by Jesus Christ. Have nothing to do with younger individuals, you know, who are temporarily physically a kid/child within their mortal body, you know. Like, they could be mentally mature/mentally an adult as well, which y'all know what I'm supposed to be referring to in terms of that. Like 7+, like from the age of 7 beyond, but for certain boys/men and girls/women's can be 5 or 6. Could be either or, you know. It's like a miracle. Like, what if a miracle occurred, you know? And yeah, apparently Uncharted 5 was teased. If it's a rumor or AI, I will fucking fuck whoever created that up. Not beat them up, but verbally speaking. Because why would he beat them up? They have to hit you for you to beat them up self-defensively. Well, if they verbally abuse you, like cyberbully you, you have your rights to beat them up if they haven't laid hands on you. That's actually gonna be legal in the future, or even if, or if it is possibly legal, like meaning it's righteous, you're self-defending yourself, you're not harming them or murdering them, so self-defense. Whether they're put down to sleep, like they're dead, like rest in peace, or just you hurt them, like self-defense. You ensure that they don't necessarily fuck with you, you know. Whether they're a boy/man or girl/woman, you know. See, Alice knows. Baby girl knows. Not because she's an android, but because she overall knows. Whether you're a human or an android impersonating a human form, you know.
We needed the money. I had to find a way, Alice.
She's like, I understand. Appreciate you for clarifying. Sleep in a hotel? Excuse me, motel. Might as well.
A motel. Looks like we found a place to stay.
Oops. My bad, took quite a while in the process. Oh shit, I didn't even text my mom about Chick-fil-A. See, it takes quite a while for me to process. I knew to text her, but, is she home? And yeah, I slept on the couch last night because my head was hurting because my stress and anxiety, specifically social traumatic situation, you know. And I don't want to mention to my sister. Well, my sister Valentina knows, but my other siblings don't. Well, sisters, because my little brother doesn't know. He's gonna be like, huh? What the fuck? But yeah, his brain is enlarging. He's 4. And he's gonna be 5 next year. Officially a kid. Not officially a kid. He's fully a kid. He is a kid, but not fully. And when I mean by fully a kid, I mean like physically speaking. Like he's overall temporarily physically a kid/child within his mortal body. So I'm gonna be proud of him when he's 5. Could he be mentally mature? You never know. He could possibly wait until he's 7. Like 6 or 7. I'm playing chat. 6 or 7 is cool. Because that one girl who's 17 who vapes on live and drinks beer and have tattoos at 17. I'm like, baby girl, despite the age criminalized being temporarily, you are fucking badass. And she wants me to be president at 21. I'm kidding, not 21. She wants me to be CEO at 21. That'd be cool. CEO of TikTok or M2. But to be president, I don't want to replace Trump. Do you think I should impeachment him? What do y'all think? And if I do, I'll make some changes. Like I'll change the voting age, alcohol, gambling, um, driving. Certain changes, despite the age crime laws being temporarily, for sex and pregnancy, possibly not. That's like waiting until like 2029 until I can make that change. Once I make plenty of changes on exactly year 2029 and plenty of changes on exactly year 2035, next year will be some changes. If I'm not impeaching, if there's no impeachment towards Trump, like removing him from office, I mean, you never know. I possibly could, but he is doing great at the moment, so possibly not. But those changes will possibly occur on exactly year 2029. Excuse me, 2029. Also, as my sister would drive, I feel like she, huh?
What does election day mean?
That is a day to vote for a governor, president, or any
Oh, because November 4th is election day. For what?
for the city, I would say.
No, I think it's for the governor because someone shut the governor down.
Governor is next year.
No. Okay, so what's then? Is it president?
No, president is in until 2028.
And I don't know who the president's gonna be. I wonder who.
Next president will be Erica Kirk.
Nope. It's gonna be me.
Valentina, that'd be cool though.
Yeah, it is though. It's true. I'm gonna be president when I'm 14.
That'd be cool. Being president at 14. I'm possibly gonna run though. I mean, she could be my vice president. What up? She'll be 18 as vice president. I don't know. It's all good. But she mentioned she doesn't want to be like, a part of I mean, she could get involved in politics, but she doesn't necessarily have to like be a leader. That's her choice to be vice president too. But she can vote at like she should be 18. I'm possibly gonna have to see if I can remove Trump. I have to head to the Congress and see, because Congress is actually the one to remove him. And I'm mentioning him. I would like to press an impeachment towards him. Because I'm mentioning the headline. Do you think impeachment is still reasonable? And yeah, people are gonna be pissed, but you gotta realize if I'm president at 21, that'd be cool, man. And a CEO at 21. I can allow plenty of changes, but not all. So just know not all the changes would occur. I'm not gonna remove them, just gonna lower them for now. But the changes though would occur. Like plenty of changes on exactly year 2029 and plenty of changes on exactly year 2045. Because you know how I mentioned on my recent live stream that I'm gonna remove all age crime laws on exactly year 2045 and beyond of what I mentioned. And on exactly year 2029, I'm gonna lower certain of the age crime laws just to prove that people are mentally mature overall. Like humanity, when they're younger. On exactly year 2029, like I mentioned the changes for exactly year 2029. For 2026 though, and throughout that year and beyond until 2029, well 2028 until I'm like Erica Kirk or JD Vance running mate, whatsoever overall, I would have to possibly say like just to prove that people are mentally mature overall when I allow younger individuals, when I allow that change. And some people they get away with it. Like the one who's 17, she's like badass. And yeah, whenever she vapes, she mentioned it's a straw, it's a straw. And she was high as well. I noticed she was smoking that Zaza, and I have to say Zaza on live because I don't want them to know that she's smoking weed. Because you know how TikTok is. If I was the CEO, I wouldn't necessarily care if people mention what they want to mention. And especially when I type in a chat, there's like a limit of how many you can type. I don't necessarily like that. So I feel like I should make that change as well, where when you type, it's like you're typing how much you want to type. Like you're texting someone, Like how you can type a long paragraph on Snapchat or like iMessage or however. I mean, I like Apple iPhones. I don't like any phones but Apple iPhones. And I actually have to remove my screen protector because it was broken as it was overall, and I broke it, and it was made of glass a bit because apparently it cut my finger, not like severely, but unfortunately it cut my skin a bit, quite a bit, and it was bleeding quite a bit. And I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, I had to throw it away in the garbage. And I don't necessarily need a screen protector. I feel like I don't necessarily need one. Just gotta be responsible, and I am very responsible. Like I mentioned, I'm mentally mature slash mentally an adult. Official adulthood. Fully mentally mature. Um, since 7+, so I'm like from the age of 7 beyond that. Um, fully independent. 'Cause I can make my own decisions. It takes quite a while for the process, but I'll go. Fully responsible. Yeah, fully independent. Fully responsible. So full responsibility, and yeah, full legal responsibility. But yeah, despite the age criminal laws being temporary. But yeah, 7+, from the age of 7 beyond for me. You know, when I was 5 or 6, definitely not. But I was mentally mature slash mentally an adult. But the adulthood to have official adulthood where like you are who you are, like for a fact, and you can prove it mentally, has nothing to do with physicality. It's more of mentality of what adulthood is, which is from 7+, from the age of 7 beyond that. I was aware of my mental maturity slash mentally adult, like adulthood, like official adulthood. Overall, like being fully mentally mature, and just overall what I specifically mentioned, I was aware of it at exactly 7 years old, like 7+, from the age of 7 and beyond that. When I was 5 or 6, like compared to back then to today, is what I could possibly mention. When I was 5 or 6, because I actually touched the stove at one point because overall, I would, even though, yeah, compared to back then to today, what I'm specifically referring to when I mean by that, yeah, it took quite a while for me to process, and I'm like, yeah, my goodness, I touched it, and it was like, I was like, ow! It felt like a sting, like a bee stung me, or like a bee have stung me. But obviously it didn't necessarily. And I was like 5 years old at that time. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like to myself, how did I overall reach it? I'm pretty sure because I was gonna hit my growth spurt at like 11 or 12, so that's the whole point. So who knows? Sometimes when you can hit your growth spurt at 11 or 12, you can be a bit taller, like you're gonna reach that point of growth spurt, and then after the growth spurt, you continue on from afterwards. Like I'm fully grown physically, and I've been fully mentally mature since 7+, like from the age of 7 and beyond that. But from the age of 7 at that point, and then beyond 7 years old. And where my brain was exactly the size it was meant to be as it was fully enlarged, which enlarge is not a synonym of development. Like I mentioned, my brain and plenty of the neurons, especially the prefrontal cortex, they were all fully formed and fully developed after birth. So it's not 25 plus. No, that's bullshit. Not even 18 or a bit near 25 or even beyond 25 or 30 or 35 or 40 or 45 or whatever. It's not necessarily that. Or even 50. That would be stupid. Like, why would you think that's chronologically 50? No, fuck no. You know. Well, overall, mm, fully enlarged mean is made plenty of room. So anyway, it was fully enlarged. So it has enlarged enough since 7+, like from the age of 7, like that point, and just beyond that, like 7 years old and beyond that. So overall 7+, but it was fully enlarged like 18, like specifically 18 for boys slash men's typically. Like specifically 18. It's when it was fully enlarged, like the exact size it was meant to be, like after birth, but wasn't able to make plenty of room because it's skull size. So 18. When the skull was fully developed physically, and the brain was fully enlarged, like physically, not mentally. Mentally was 7+, like from the age of 7 beyond. But 18 years old, not 18+, because why would you assume it's 18+, from the age of 18 and beyond that? No, that's like assumption. For a fact for like 7+. Like from the age of 7, like at that point and beyond that. I bet, chat. I was thinking about something personal. That's why I have to mute immediately. Like overall. She's not necessarily home at the moment. I'm gonna text my mom and say, hey. Could you possibly get Chick-fil-A today? I text my mom and she's not necessarily home, so. I text my mom Chick-fil-A. Took quite a few in the process, but she's not home, so I'm like, hey, let me text her it. I love Chick-fil-A. I would love my kids to work there whenever. They're possibly gonna work at like 11 or 12, so unfortunately. Oh, my mom got me McDonald's. I'm grateful for that. Better be cheeseburger though, and chicken nuggets. Otherwise, I'm grateful, but at certain times, I'm like, my stress and anxiety, which is basically social, my traumatic situation. I'm like, But anyway, as I was mentioning, it's not 25 plus. But yeah, so yeah, my brain was fully enlarged at exactly 18 years old, meaning it's exact size it was meant to be after birth. So my brain has been the exact same size since. So excuse me, chat. But yeah, that's all I can mention. So anyway, chat, without further ado, let's get started shit. It says no Android allowed. That's stupid.
Hi.
Wine geezer.
Hi. I'd like a
See, I could have texted my mom earlier about Chick-fil-A. It's all good. I love McDonald's.
room.
That'll be
Depending on the
$40
sandwich.
up front.
Hey, I got you, sir.
Just need your name and address.
Oh, I don't have an address. I'm homeless. You fucking badass.
Can I see your driver's license?
I haven't got it with me. Please, the kid is tired.
You're
No
tired too.
worries. We can deal with it tomorrow.
But you're Android, you're not tired. Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Love you, sir.
Let's go, Alice.
You know how much I love you? I'm a 16-year-old Android. Why do I need a license? And this is... What year is
he
this?
believed you?
I don't know, Alice. All I know is you'll be nice and warm tonight.
You think he believed you? Those are interesting cars. Well, it's actually called Motel. That is an interesting company. Wow. Lady. Well, I'm a lady. Younger lady first. I'm older. I'm 16. She's 19. Did I say 19? She's 9. I mean, it takes quite a while for the process. Oh wait, which room is ours? But yeah, during that year, shouldn't driver license, like, how their ID, shouldn't they just be IDs overall and license should be like a piece of paper? Because I'm pretty sure hunting license, gun license, any licenses you get should possibly be like a paper. But for driving a car and motorcycle? Hold on, let me search up a motorcycle license. And if it's not on a paper, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Why would he need 2 IDs? Okay, motor. I love motorcycles. Motorcycle license. In Michigan, you get a motorcycle endorsement added to your driver license, not a separate motorcycle license. Oh, okay. What exactly is an endorsement? Okay. Within Michigan, you can get a motorcycle endorsement added to your driver's license, not a separate motorcycle license. Well, it should be like a paper, To obtain it, you must be exactly 16, which is bullshit, despite the age criminal laws being tempered. I feel like it should be 11 or 12. 8, 9, or 10. Ooh, man, motorcycles are huge. I can ride one because I'm 5'8", but not all 8, 9 or 10-year-olds can possibly. Like, not even Alice can ride a motorcycle. Possibly Kara. Well, yeah, she's 16, but it has nothing to do with the age, chronologically speaking. But for certain boys slash men's and girls slash women's who are 8, 9, or 10 could. Because you never know how tall they can be. You never know. I never seen a taller 8, 9, or 10-year-old. To obtain it, yeah, you gotta be 16 and either complete a state-approved motorcycle. In my words, I would say 11 or 12. And either complete a state-approved motorcycle safety course to receive a skills test waiver. And 11 or 12 would either be next year or when I make plenty of changes on exactly year 2029 and plenty of changes on exactly year 2035, And in this game, it's like in the 2030s or something. Skills test waiver or pass a motorcycle's knowledge test and an off-street rider skills test. You as well need to apply what's in the Secretary of State office, pass a vision test to ensure you're able to see, and pay the endorsement fee. Look, I don't necessarily want to do much with it, so possibly later. My bad, I'll text my homie Nathan. Yeah, I'm coming, hold up. Steps to getting motorcycle endorsement. Meet eligibility, be at least, or be exactly 16 years old and have a valid Michigan driver's license. When I make those changes, will be 11 or 12. Choose your path. Safety course, enroll in and complete a Michigan Department of State approved motorcycle safety course to get a skills test waiver. They have a motorcycle permit? That's stupid. And pass a motorcycle knowledge test, then schedule. Apply for an endorsement. Visit a Secretary of State office with your driver's license in either. Yeah, that's stupid. I don't actually like it. Like I mentioned, it's gonna be 11 or 12 potentially. And the state IDs will be banned because the ones that are currently driver's license will potentially be ID, and then driver's license will be like a paper, that you're eligible to drive and you understand the traffic law. Motorcycle is the same thing as well. You just gotta understand like when you ride a motorcycle. Excuse me, Chad. Yeah, hold up. Complete final requirements, pass a vision test, and pay for the motorcycle endorsement fee. Receive your endorsement. Your new endorsement CY will overall be added to your driver's license. What's in the future will be like a separate one, like a paper. Important considerations. Under 18. If you are under 18, you must complete an approved motorcycle safety course to be eligible for the motorcycle endorsement. Temporary instruction permit. A TIP allows you to practice riding with supervision of a licensed motorcyclist, but restricts night riding and passengers. Fees. There is a fee associated with it. Like I mentioned, the 18 plus shit, from the age of 18 exactly and beyond that, it's an assumption. To know for a fact, it's 7 plus. From the age of 7 exactly and beyond that, it's where you know for a fact of being mentally mature slash mentally an adult. Like fully mentally mature. Like overall, you know what I'm specifically referring to. It's gonna take quite a few in the process, but overall, you know exactly what I'm specifically referring to. But anyway, I'm gonna have my dinner, so be sure to skip the part where I'm not nicely AFK. Oh, so they just add it to your. They should change the license as well. Like it should be like an ID. Cause they say ID when you're at a bar, which they shouldn't in the future either. But you know, when I make plenty of changes on exactly year 2026, if I remove Trump, like impeachment, or plenty of changes on exactly year 2029, and plenty of changes on exactly year 2035. You know, like if I, what I mean is if like I don't remove Trump, you know. But anyway, he's alright. Bob definitely for sure definitely consider being a CEO of M2 once it's from when it's transitioned from TikTok to M2, you know. But in the chat, be sure to skip the part where I'm not necessarily AFK. I'm gonna have dinner. I'm coming. Hey, my mic is unmuted, so not muted, unmuted. I'm back, but hold up, my homie Andrew just texted me at the moment, so hold up. Excuse me.
This is what a $1 million house looks like around the world. For reference,
Oops. I bet took quite a few minutes to process. I meant to go on my channel, not like overall close the tab, you know. Excuse me, chat. Hold on, chat. Give me a minute. And yeah, my mom's constantly mentioning, oh, you constantly waste. Like, okay, there's no such thing of the term waste unless it seems like it. Overall, it's gonna take quite a time to process, but like, it's not necessarily waste, you know? And it without further ado, let's get started shit. Alright. But yeah, as I was reading about the motorcycle licenses, you know, it should be like separate, you know, like a paper. Like hunting license. I could possibly search one up actually, hold up. Real quick. To hunt legally within the US, you overall need a hunting license from the state where you're overall hunting, and must as well follow their fish and game department requirements. Licenses are typically available within sporting goods stores and may as well be offered within special rates for students, seniors, military, and people with mental or physical disabilities. Certain states offers lifetime licenses. Here's a summary of hunting license requirements in certain states. See, it's on that paper. Well, it's like a state ID. Not state ID, excuse me. State IDs will be banned, what the fuck? Licenses that we currently have are going to potentially be IDs, and the licenses are possibly going to be like... It's like an SSN, so the licenses will possibly be like that, or like on a huge paper or something, you know? Hold on, my mom, Angel just called me. Not call me, he texted me. Excuse me, chat. But yeah, the one I mentioned that was that is 17 despite the age criminal laws being temporarily. In my next live stream, I'm just gonna mention despite the age criminal laws being temporarily. Like, I'll just say from last live stream, you know? When I'm playing with my... And yeah, when I'm playing with my homie Angel, I go with the flow. When, like, whatever I mention, you know? So don't think that what I mentioned to him is exactly what I would mention to you all, you know? But yeah, despite the age criminal laws being temporarily, you know? Anyway, Charles, without further ado, let's get straight to shit. Hold on, my shit is loading. But yeah, you know how I work at the parks and I was mentioning like why... Well, I'm pretty sure I never mentioned this, but if I have over before, I was quite curious, why can't those who are 11 and 12 work in the parks, you know? And for certain boys slash girls, excuse me, and for certain boys slash men's and girls slash women's who are 10, 9, or 8 can't, you know? Like work in the parks. What's in the future, you know? Like when I make plenty of changes on exactly 2029 and plenty of changes on exactly 2035, you know? Because back then it was actually 10 or 11 or 10 or 12. So like potentially it's going to be 11 or 12 because not all individuals who are 10, you know, like only certain boys slash men's and girls slash women's are 10, 9, and 8, you know, for that situation. So like when it comes to sex or pregnancy, excuse me, sex and pregnancy, working, and any aspect that involves something physically, you know how back then it was 10 to 12? It should overall be 11 or 12, but then they raised it from 10. They raised it from 10 to 12 to 18. And like I mentioned, the 18 plus shit, especially the legal term shit, as I specifically mentioned, and for certain states like my state, Michigan, 16 plus, which is Romeo and Juliet, and state like Texas is 14, and certain states like close in age, like I mentioned, if both of the individual is 8 or 9 for certain boys slash girls, excuse me, for certain boys slash men's and girls slash women's. Like let's say for example, if they're both 8, like a boy and a girl, they can both have sex and get pregnant, and a girl can get pregnant at 8, you know. But if not, then it'll be like 11 or 12, and if they're both the same age, you know. But overall, it's like temporarily, you know, all that shit, especially the 18 plus shit. It's temporarily, you know. Despite the 18 plus shit, especially the legal term shit, despite the 18 plus shit being temporarily, you know, especially the legal term shit, despite that being temporarily, you know. So overall, yeah, despite the 18 plus shit being temporarily, you know. But overall, despite the age requirement laws being temporarily, you know. Like once I make plenty of changes on exactly 2029 and plenty of changes on exactly 2045, you know. Excuse me, chat. But that's all I have to mention, you know. But yeah, I would love to trick or treat someday. Like, I would love to get back to it, but you know how my dad, he's like, you're too old for it. Do I look like I'm old? I'm meant to be young physically. And there's this one person that I typically interact with, and it's like I'm mentioning everything that I don't typically mention to plenty of individuals, especially one of my great workers. Well, the school I volunteer with, who is not my worker, it's just a place I volunteer at. She used to be my like somebody at elementary school that I used to interact with back when I was like in first grade, and yeah, her name is Debbie Williams. And obviously, YouTube's gonna keep it private. YouTube is gonna keep it private what I specifically mentioned, but I don't typically mention much shit to her, and I should mention plenty of shit that she mentioned to me before. But she mentioned, "Oh, you're too young to be president," and I'm like, "I'm meant to be young physically. If you mean that I'm mentally immature, I'm not necessarily mentally immature, you know." Especially for wanting to have kids and moving out, you know, because I'm gonna move out next year. I'm for real. Even like while I'm part of my internship, you know. And I'm hoping to hang out with my homie Jack as well, because like, hey, we're homies, you know. Like coworker just means like someone you work with as like a working partner, you know. While homies, you know. Even if I'm an intern, fuck my internship program policies. It's bullshit. It's associated with Satan, not necessarily associated with God or my Jesus Christ. Majority of them aren't necessarily, or none of them. Who knows? You know. Let me put in my homie's username, Mitten Jack. Don't necessarily add him because I feel like you would have to ask his permission, but I'm just trying to. Excuse me, not trying to ensure, wanting to ensure. Okay, 7 hours ago. I mean, hey, he is very busy, so I would prefer like once he's available, you know. Excuse me, chat. Excuse me, chat. Yeah, because I'd like to interact with Jack on PlayStation. I'm gonna message him. When could you possibly like add me back so I can like ensure like you know? Come and chat with him tomorrow, and we're gonna have the 7-Eleven. I'm gonna get myself a snack and a Rockstar energy drink. Because I haven't started getting to energy drinks since like that age. Well, actually before. Yo, what is good, Jesse? How you feeling, brother? Brother, I meant, excuse me, my bad. Took a while from the process. But you know what I'm referring to. How you feeling, bro? And I'm gonna ensure GT6 not necessarily delay. I'm gonna check it tomorrow because I'm actually heading to my dad's place tomorrow. Because I actually gotta work and I'm gonna remain there, which is great. And my cousin, who is 9, is officially coming over. She is 9. Wow. And no, she is not going through puberty. I'm pretty sure. I would have to see though. I would have to notice if she is going through puberty. If I notice the chest, I'm not gonna mention it on stream. That like the chest size getting quite bigger. The bottom part, I keep it private. I'm not gonna look, you know. And no, that's not being a perv. Being a perv is when you're a sex offender, when you force that girl slash woman to, you know, have sex. Whether they're younger, my age, and older, you know. It's like regardless, you know, like despite the age criminal being temporarily, you know. And when I mean by younger, I mean like if they're temporarily physically a kid slash child within their mortal body, and temporarily physically an adolescent within their mortal body. If they're like a preteen, like 10 to 12 or 13 to 19, you know. Or like younger, like 13, 14, 15, you know. Because some say 16, so that's what I'm referring to. But if it's not, then it's 18, unfortunately. But none of the states are 17, unless some of them are. Who knows? But yeah, despite the age criminal laws being temporary, you know. Yeah, you know. So overall, despite the age criminal laws being temporary, you know. But yeah, I would love to play with my homie Jack. I'll have to mention him tomorrow. If he's busy, then it's all good. He's typically like on PlayStation playing the game called Forza he was mentioning to me. So, but yeah, we should definitely consider playing GT5 Online. And I mentioned him, once you're able to play it, be sure to add me back. Take your time, man. I understand you're overall busy, you know. So, And chat, without further ado, let's get shit. It's badass
Here,
gun.
give me your coat.
Oh, another thing I want to mention. But yeah, I would love to get into trick-or-treating. I feel like trick-or-treating would be cool. I mean, I love candy. You get free candy. Like, someone have to buy it. I mean, hey, candy is not cheap. As you add all the candies up, you can notice. If it's like a jackpot, you can notice. Sometimes they'll either get chips, candies, whatever. I'm gonna have to possibly take this candy from the stash, or they would put it in like a cabinet and I'll just take it. So it's like, hey, free candy for me. So usually I'll get free candy. Just not the way I would prefer to. I prefer holding that bucket or whatever, wearing a costume that is honoring or representing something or symbolizing something, and just go to house. It's pretty cool, you know. But yeah, as I was mentioning, as I specifically mentioned my recent live stream as well, when I was playing as Michael, when I was like towards his crib, you know, I was having that talk as well. But yeah, that's not being a perv. I just prefer not looking at her area, her private area, because that's like disrespectful. Well, if you ask permission, it's not. But at the same time, it can seem disrespectful because you don't want to force it, you know. Even though you're not necessarily forcing, sometimes I would have the urge because, you know, my stress and anxiety is specifically associated with my traumatic situation, you know. But yeah, you know, my stress and anxiety is specifically associated with my traumatic situation, you know. But overall, I'm more of like seeing her, like interacting with her, saying, "Hey, how you been?" Because she mentioned she's gonna find a man at 10, and I'm like, "Hey, if you're going to puberty but not hitting the growth spurt, what if he wants to do, you know what, like privately, you know?" Because, you know, the 18 plus shit, despite that being temporarily, or the 16 plus shit being temporarily, like the Romeo Juliet shit. Romeo Juliet law, yeah, that's temporarily. But overall, as I specifically mentioned, like all the ages, or like, you know, the 18 plus shit, which is like unfortunately the main shit, which you don't want to assume it. Like from that age of 18 exactly and beyond that, like you can't assume that. It's 7 plus. Like from that age of 7 exactly and beyond that, you know that for a fact, you know, that you're mentally mature / mentally an adult, you know, like official adulthood, you know, like fully mentally mature, and just overall, you know, despite the age criminal laws being temporary, you know. But yeah, it's gonna take quite the process, but overall, it's all good because I know exactly what I'm specifically referring to within my life, you know. But yeah, despite the 18 plus shit, 16 plus, and 14 plus shit, especially the Coulson shit, they're all temporarily. Which 16 plus and 14 plus is Romeo and Juliet, especially the Coulson shit. Overall, despite all that shit being temporally, especially the 18 plus shit being temporally. So yeah, despite the 18 plus shit being temporally and the legal term shit, despite that being temporally, you know. But overall, the 18 plus shit, despite the 18 plus shit being temporally, you know. But overall, despite the age criminal laws being temporally, you know. But yeah, overall, yeah, despite the age requirement laws being temporarily, you know. My bad, I was thinking about something personal, you know. But yeah, overall, like I mentioned, Chess specifically, despite the age requirement laws being temporarily, you know. But yeah, she is, 9. So hey, it's her last official time temporarily, physically being a kid / child within her mortal body, you know. It's like, what does she wish for, you know? And she was 7 like 2 years ago. Wow, that's cool. Anyway, chat, without further ado, let me just continue, you know. But yeah, overall, yeah, my bad. Yeah, I was thinking about something personal, you know. Excuse me, chat.
Let's get these clothes off. They're soaking wet.
Whoa.
I'll just put these in the bathroom to dry.
Hold up, check you a minute. My bad, chat. I was like, yeah, my bad, chat. I was thinking about something personal, you know. It's all good. But yeah, when I was like, whoa, like, be aware, like. But she's an android, Alice, so it's all good.
Why didn't he ever love me? Why was he always so upset with me? All I wanted was a life like other girls.
Ah, girl slash
Maybe
woman?
I did something wrong.
Nah.
Maybe I wasn't good enough.
Nah, I don't think that.
That's why he was always so angry.
No, it was something quite deeper. I'm pretty sure you would over
I
know.
just wanted us to be a family.
Right?
I just wanted him to love me. Why couldn't we just be happy?
I don't know.
Come on, you're an android. You're meant to overall know.
You'll never leave me, right? Promise you'll never go.
Hell no. Never. I promise.
I promise.
Will we be together forever?
Forever. It would be cool if there was an option where I can mention, no, it cannot necessarily last forever. Well, the other part was quite true because Alice, like, she was shut down. Well, you never know. She could have it could have lasted forever. She just could have possibly brought her back to life. Well, recharge her or something, like ensure her system is like activated, but not where it would show. You know, where it'll show it. You know, but it's forever.
Forever.
Give her that hug. See me chat. I mean, I understand why she's wearing those clothes with no pants because she doesn't have the part like Kara as well. But if she did, it wouldn't show because
You should sleep.
you know. Even if Kara were to have it, it would like not show as well. Cause they don't want to show something that would. Cause some people feel disturbed. Like, you know how in GT5 they don't allow you to show the pussy, you know, or the penis for the guys. Well, girls, cause strip club is where you would be with a girl there, you know. It wouldn't show, only the tits, you know. Or if you bring them to your house, they wouldn't necessarily be there. Or not necessarily be there. It wouldn't necessarily show. So I feel like it's more like some people get disturbed, but in the future they could possibly change their mind and be like, hey, it's part of nature, you know. But, you know, despite the age criminal laws being temporary, you know. Yes, not just for those who are temporarily physically kids / travel through their mortal body. If it's shown, it's not like you can actually do it. It's just shown, you know. Like for Jodie from Beyond Two Souls, they didn't show it because some people would get disturbed for looking at a younger girl's body. Even, especially their age and beyond that. Like for Jodie when she was a prime adolescent, because I'm pretty sure she was in her 20s, when she was taking a shower, the towel had to like block that, or the towel had to be placed there, excuse me. You know, it took quite a process, my bad. Where it didn't show her ass and that, especially her tits. So I feel like it's more like where people are comfortable and what game they prefer to add it in, or what they want to show, you know. So it's actually more of the comfortability, not what's shown, you know. Yeah, it's not just those who are temporarily physically a kid / child within their mortal body, you know. It's for those younger, you know what I'm specifically referring to when I mean by that, are my age, because I'm 20, or in my 20s, or close to mine, or whatever, and older, you know. like older than me, or in their 30s or 40s or whatever. Excuse me, chat. But yeah, despite the age criminal laws being temporary, because, you know, I was mentioning that, you know. But not good, you know. But overall, Alice is an android, you know, so, you know.
I'm going to turn off the light, okay?
Excuse me, chat. But I do love her PJs. I love it. Kara, she doesn't necessarily have one. She just wearing casual clothes, apparently. Wait, how exactly does Alice have a PJ, and not necessarily Kara, you know?
Alice.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm meant to be in the bed. Okay. When I was sniffing, my parts of my mucus was hitting my brain. I did not feel like that. Alice and Kara stayed within a motel. Well, that's what they refer to, okay. Oh, I do not necessarily like this one. I mean, okay, I love it. Well, not really, because it's just about, like, getting parts for Marcus. So I'm possibly going to skipping ahead to the next chapter. And actually, I could. It's not like all the chapters are... Just because I save it doesn't necessarily mean I have to, like, you know, play that, you know.
Accessing the story chart.
Zulaco. Oh, fuck Zulaco. On the run. Oh, so I have to play the Marcus bullshit. Or I could just end it right here and just play whenever, like next time. So alright, chat, I'm gonna end it right here. If you want to see more of me playing Detroit Become Human, be sure to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I'm gonna end it right here and just possibly play Red Screen Feature Correct time until my homie calls me. But yeah, be sure to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I'm gonna end it right here. Take it easy, chat.